Hi everyone. So here we are going to discuss how we can deploy or how we can host a static website on the EC2 instance that we have created. So earlier we have seen that we were able to create AWS account, and then we also went and we saw how we can create the EC2 instance. Then today we'll see how we can log in to EC2 instance, whatever the instance we have created. Although I'll also cover how we can create the EC2 instance quickly. Okay. So to create EC2 instance, you need to first log into to your AWS account, and then you need to go to services, and here you'll choose compute, and in the compute you'll see this EC2. So when you'll click this EC2, you'll be getting this dashboard, and in the dashboard, if you'll see the left side here, you can see instances, and on the instances you need to just click here on the instances, and I already had one instance that was running and I stopped it. So remember, when you are stopping the instance, it will shut down your device. Okay, it will shut down your VM that is hosted on whatever the data center that you have chosen. Okay, so it will shut down it. If you don't need it, if you want to delete it permanently, then you can just delete it. Okay, you can just click and you can just terminate. Terminating will delete the instance. If you are stopping it, then it will just shut down the instance. Okay, now so I'm going to create a new instance here. To create a new instance, you just need to click on launch instance. Okay, and here you'll be getting some new page, okay, where you need to provide the name of the instance. So first, right now I'm just going to provide the name of the instance as test cloud. Okay, and this is going to be our instance. So after giving the name, you need to select some image for the machine. Okay, so you need to select some operating system that you want to install in your VM. Okay, so I'll just look for some VM. Maybe you can install any operating system. You can install Red Hat, you can install Mac OS, whatever operating system you are comfortable with, you can install. Obviously, different operating systems have different kind of advantages. Okay, and sometimes we are very used to in Ubuntu, so we follow up and we just think that Ubuntu will be good if we are working on the server as well, because you'll be knowing the scripts and knowing the directory structure and all. Okay, for now, because most of you are using Windows, so I'll just take this Windows instance. Okay, so let's say I'm taking this Windows Server 2012. Okay, and let's say I have selected it. Okay, so after selecting it, you will be getting the configuration that is there on your VM. So here you can see the CPU that you are getting will be only one core will be provided, and 1 GB of RAM will be provided to you. Okay, additional information is given there. So if you'll cross your free tier limits, then these are the charges that you'll be paying. Okay, then again here comes the key pair. Okay, so I think we covered this key pair concept in detail. So it will be something like a password. Okay, like a passcode. So this file will allow you to generate a new password when you'll be trying to connect to your VM. Okay, so you can create a new key every time you create a new instance, or you can just associate the older key that you have created to your new VM. Okay, so I have already created some keys. So what I'll do, I'll just associate this test key with this VM. Okay, this test key with this VM, and then by default you should be getting these kind of options, and you'll not be required to edit all those things. These are not required for now. Okay, because for now we are just learning the basics, how we can just host the website or our web app on our virtual machine. We will also discuss about these network settings, but slowly you'll be getting it. Okay, so for now I'm just keeping it as it is. Okay, and I think that I have already talked about this thing, like uh, we had this allow remote desktop protocol traffic and port traffic, and then we also talked about this allow HTTPS traffic. So if you'll click here, it will open the port number 443. I have given you the list document where the port number and the protocols are also mentioned over. So just go through that briefly. Okay, so if you'll just click here, it will open the 443 traffic uh, uh, for your VM. Obviously, it will not open the port inside your VM, and we'll see how it happens. So for now, I'm just keeping it default so that you need not to change anything. You just come here, you see whatever the storage is there. So because 30 gigabytes of storage is provided to in free time, so I'm using all the 30 gigabytes of storage. Okay, so it will be my disk size. Okay, then after that, what I need to do, I'll just launch it. Okay, so it is successfully launched, and let me go back now, and you can see this test cloud is successfully launched. Okay, now it is starting. That is why it is saying that it's pending till now. Okay, so we'll wait for some time, maybe 30 seconds or 20 seconds. Okay, let me just refresh it. Okay, still it is running. I can check the status. It's still pending. Okay, so let's give 5 to 10 more seconds. Yeah, it's up and running. Okay, so I can just refresh it. Okay, status check is still there. It's initializing. Okay, let's see, still checking. Okay, so when we have this status check, it basically detects whether there are some issues or not. If there will be no issues, it will just say that there are no issues. It's up and running. If there will be some issues, it will be reported. Okay, here instance state means that whether your VM is up or not. Okay, if it is up, it's running, it will show running status. Okay, now see, we got our instance created, EC2 instance created. Okay, the next thing that we will be doing is this one, right? So we'll be login to EC2 instance. Okay, so when you create some instance, and if you have chosen Windows as operating system, then you will be having only one option. That is, you can only connect with RDP. That is remote desktop connection. You can only have established the remote desktop connectivity. Okay, like I'll show you. But if you have like Linux, or let's say you are having a Mac OS, then you will be having the SSH connectivity facility that will be provided by AWS itself. Okay, so over there you can just put your public key, and then you can connect to that particular VM via the terminal itself. Okay, if you still want to use the SSH connectivity on the Windows server as well, then you will have to install OpenSSH on the Windows server itself. And obviously, to install it, you will have to get into the server first. Okay, so you'll be using remote desktop connection at least once. Okay, so let's connect to this instance. To connect to this instance, you just need to select the instance and you just need to click on connect. Okay, when you'll click on the connect, you'll see that session manager is there, remote client is there, RDP client is there. So you need to click on RDP client, and then the first thing that you need to do is download the remote desktop file. Okay, so as you can see, it's downloaded here. Now next, because when you'll click here on the remote desktop file, it will try to connect. Okay, and here you can see it will ask whether you accept the certificate or not. Okay, you need to just click OK. and then you will be required to put the password and domain. So public DNS, this one will be your domain. Okay, so you need to paste it here like this. And to get the password, you'll be required to provide that key pair that you created or associated, right? So click on get password, and you can see it is expecting that there should be key pair associated, right? So whatever the key pair that you associated with this instance, it is expecting that, and the name of that key pair is test, right? So I'll just upload that key pair, and you can see test.pam is already there. Okay, and I can just open it here. Then I'll just decrypt the password, and I got the password here. You copy this password and you put it here. Okay, and then click on OK, and it will take a while. Okay, and you will see that your remote desktop connection is active. Okay, so let me see why it's not there. Okay, it may take some time, maybe 5 to 10 seconds. So let's just wait. You can see here I got. Okay, and this is actually the instance that we are having. Okay, if you'll see, this is not my PC. So I was working on Ubuntu, and now I am logged in to some Windows 2012 server, right? So this is my instance. Actually, it looks like this. Okay, now see, I got the instance. Okay, so it's like a PC, right? It's like a PC that is placed on some cloud, and you are accessing that PC. The good thing about this PC is that it is associated with some IP. Okay, now IPs can be of two types. Okay, they can be of static IP. Okay, it can be a static IP. Okay, so when we talk about IP, it can be static IP, it can be a dynamic IP. When we talk about static IP, what happens that every instance, so right now your instance is having dynamic IP. So your IP can get changed. Let's say you got some problem and you are restarting your instance. You stop the instance and then you restarting it. So it may happen that a new IP is allocated for your instance. And in that scenario, the address, so IP represents the address of that particular machine. Okay, so that address of that particular machine will get changed. So you'll no longer be able to access that machine. So here in AWS, we have a facility that is known as elastic IP. Okay, where you can create some static IP and you can associate that static IP with your instance. Okay, so no matter how many times you are rebooting your instance, the IP will not get changed because one specific IP is allocated to you for that particular instance. And it's actually a kind of costly thing. And I mean, you need to pay some extra charge for that particular elastic IP. Okay. For now, we are not creating an elastic IP. Obviously, in future, we'll be creating. Okay. So now we have our instance, it is running and it's is there. You can see also, right? Now, if I want to connect to this instance, what I need to do? I need to just, I mean, you whenever you want to access some website, what you do? You just type the domain name, right? Like if you want to access, let's say you want to access Facebook, okay? So you'll just write Facebook. And this Facebook is basically a domain name, right? It's a domain name. Behind the scene, it is also having some IP. When you type Facebook and when you press enter, it basically finds out a IP. Okay, so there is some machine that is hosted somewhere. It is having some IP, and as I told you, IP is nothing but an address, like we all have our house address, right? Some pin code number is there, some street name is there, some house number is there. So all those together, they create a address, right? A big paragraph will create an address for your house. So likewise, on the network, on the internet, every machine has some address, and that address is denoted by the IP. So because it would be very difficult for a common person to, to remember the address of each and every website, the community agreed that there should be something that is known as domain name. Because see, you can remember Facebook, but you cannot remember like 13.164.17. Blah 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 something. So these numbers, complicated network addresses, you cannot remember, right? So domain is a kind of mask that is provided over your IP address. Okay, so every time you just type this, you just get to the browser looks for the sends the request to that particular IP address, and that particular machine which is sitting on that particular IP address, it replies you back with your profile. Okay, so even if you know the IP of this facebook.com, then also by typing the IP here, you can access. Okay, so for now we are not having any domain name, right? We only have the IP of our device, and that is there, it is given there, right? This is the IP that is given there. Okay, this is the IP, that is public IP version 4. When we say version 4, so there can be two types of versions for IP. One is IPv6, one is IPv4, and we'll talk about these things also when we'll cover basics of networking. Okay, so this IP is there, and I can copy this IP and I can put it here. Okay, and I can say go. Okay, but see, you see, right now nothing is happening, right? So there is a step, there is a flow that is happening right now. So right now my browser is there, so I'm using Chrome. Okay, Chrome is there. Okay, when I'm putting that IP here, it is sending some request. Okay, it is sending some request, and this request is sent to AWS, because AWS has given me IP, has given me given the IP to my instance, right? EC2 instance, right? So this Chrome will request AWS that, okay, I want to access this instance. So you guess, like, where can be the security? So there should be a gate where my Chrome is knocking with a request, and then if AWS is accepting it, there should be a gate in your instance also, where AWS will be knocking that, okay, there is some request that is there for you. Okay, so these two layers are there where we have network securities. Okay, and I'll show you what I meant. You see, if I'm looking at this dashboard where my instance is there, right? Okay, let me see where it is. Okay, there, test cloud. Okay, this is my instance. Okay, I selected this instance, and I can check on the securities. On the securities, you'll have the rules. Okay, inbound rules and outbound rules. Okay, so inbound rules decide what are the connections that can be made to your machine, and outbound rules define what is the kind of connection that your machine can make globally. Okay, to public over the internet. Okay, so you can define these rules. So what I'll do, and this here, this on the AWS itself, this is the first network security that you are having, first level of connectivity. I talked about the door, right? So this is the door. So this is inbound and outbound rules that are defined. Okay, this door will govern by this. Okay, So it will decide whether to open this door for Chrome or not, for me or not, because this Chrome is also running in my device, right? So this device is also having some IP, some address, right? My device. So it will go with that device, that address. The request will be something like that. Okay, this is the request that has came from Chrome, and this Chrome is having this address. So the request is coming from this address. So this 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 door will decide whether to let it go in or not. Okay, and let's see how it will decide. So I'm here on the security. Okay, and you see, every time you create a instance, you'll be having a security group that is created for that particular instance. Okay, you can associate the already available security groups as well. So let's say that this is the security group 6 launch wizard has been created. So what I can do, in next time I'll create an instance, I can associate this security group with it. Okay, so all the rules that I'll define here, they will be followed over there. Okay, so right now what I want, when I'm just putting the okay, I should be sliding it here. Yeah. Okay, so when I'm just putting this IP here, I'm making a HTTP request. I'm making a request on port number 80. As I told you, whenever we are communicating over the internet, there are different kind of protocols that are being followed. So because I'm sending the request from the browser, and if you'll see here, if you'll see on any tab, let's say here, you will see that there is the protocol that is mentioned, right? So right now here, HTTPS protocol is being used to make a request to this particular domain name, to this particular website, right? So this domain name will be having some IP, right, over there. So this is your protocol, and because it is HTTPS protocol, so it will be making a request on port 443. And right now here, I want to make a request on, let's say, HTTP. Okay, so I'm just going to write, by default it will be HTTPS. So HTTP, I want to make the request here on this particular machine. Okay, so if I'll just say okay, it is basically knocking the door here. Okay, and the door is not open yet, right? So what I'll do, I'll open the door. So on the securities, I'll click on the security group. I'll go in, and then inside I see inbound rules are there. So I'll just say edit inbound rules. Okay, and here you can see RDP is the only protocol, remote desktop protocol, that is basically allowed to connect on the port, and the port is given, right? What is the port? 3389, right? So when you create a new rule, basically you are creating an access for a certain kind of request. Okay, so let me create a new rule here. I'm going to create a rule for all the HTTP protocols. Okay, and as I told you that HTTP protocol will access port 80. So because these are the default ports that are allocated to particular kind of protocols, so when you'll select HTTP, 80 will come here. Okay, and what I need that everywhere it should be accessible from everywhere. So source represents that from where it should be accessible. From everywhere. I can give my IP as well. Okay, I can give my IP. So my IP will be there. It will only be accessible from my IP. Okay, I can give everywhere. So I want that my server or my VM that is there, that is this system, it should be accessible from anywhere around the globe. So I have given anywhere here as a source. Then I need to just save it. Okay, I saved it. Now what is happening? Let's now refresh. Okay, again, see, again it is not opening, nothing is happening, right? So now you see we have created a pass. Okay, we have created a pass from this gate. Okay, so request is going from this gate to AWS. Now AWS is knocking at this door. Okay, this door. When we created a new uh, inbound connection, inbound rule, our Chrome, my system is able to access till AWS, but it is not able to access, it is not able to go inside this particular instance. Okay, so what I need to do for that? I need to open a port on my instance as well. So I'll just go in on the instance, and you'll see to open the port. So let me make it clear. So this security that is provided here, it is known as firewall. It is controlled by the firewall. Okay, so I need to just make certain rules on the firewall as well. So what I'll do, I'll just go on my, so this is the VM I'm accessing, okay, via RDP connection, remote desktop protocol connection. I'll just go into the control panel, and I'll just reduce the size of icons so that I can see all the icons. And here you can see firewall is there, right? I click on firewall, and I'll just go to advanced setting, and there you see inbound rules and outbound rules, right? Inbound and outbound rules, right? Because I want to allow the incoming connections, so I'll create a new rule here. Okay, and I want to create a rule on a particular port, and I want to allow the TCP connections. Okay, we'll talk about TCP and UDP later. Okay, so what port I want to open? I want to open port 80. Okay, and then it will ask what type of connections I want to allow. I'll allow all the type of connections. Okay, whether it's secure, whether it's not secure. For more security, people only allow secure connections. Okay, so we'll come into that also, how to allow secure connection and what does it mean. So, or you just explore yourself, and if you are having certain doubts, you can just ask us. Okay, because you are already having some free tier accounts, so you just do as many experiments as possible. Just make sure that you are not going to some zone where the fee will be charged. Okay, anyhow, we are not going to pay fee, right? So it's not required that you should be paying the fee. You can just close your account anytime without paying the fee. So then it will be asking over which domain it should be applied. Okay, when does this rule be applied? Like whether it should be applied on private connections, whether it should be applied on public connections, whether it should be applied on some domain. Okay, so like when I'm trying to access that VM, I'm the public, right? I'm public. I'm sitting somewhere over the internet. I'm just accessing. I'm hitting on the VM. If somebody is there on the network itself, on the network in which this VM is there, that will be the private to that VM. Okay, and when the computer is connected to some corporate domain, right? Like it is the computer is connected to some google.com or something. So that computer will also be having some domain, subdomain associated with it. So if you are making connection from there itself, it will be considered as this option here, domain one. Okay, so I just want that it should be applied to all type of connections. Okay, so I'm just saying this, and then I'll just write the name. So I'm just creating this for HTTP connectivity. So I'll just give a name of HTTP. You can write some description also, that this will open the port number 80 and all, whatever description. Okay, then finish it. Okay, now see, you got it here. Okay, now because the port is open, it should be working, right? What do you think, whether it will work or not? You have 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think that you must have guessed that it should be working, but it will not work. Okay, let's see. And here we refreshed it and it's still not working. Why? What happened? Now the problem is that, let me see the whiteboard here. Now we opened a gate here also. Okay. Now it has some request, but there is no one in our instance. There is no application or program which is basically looking on that particular request. Okay, there should be someone or some program or some application that should be looking into this request, and it should be sending some feedback. It should be sending that, okay, I got the request and here's your response on that request. Then only you can get something on this side, right? And that is why you need some local server or some application that should be listening to this particular port. So we made a request on port 80, right? Likewise, on our instance, there are a lot of ports, port 80, port 81, port 81, 82,000, 100, 200, 300, like this. So there are a lot of port numbers are there, okay? So on any port, the request can come. You just need to define the rules like this, okay? And specifically, and yeah, one more point. If you want to make a request to certain port number, you just need to provide a colon, okay? A colon here. Okay, wait. You just need to provide a colon and just give the port number. So right now I'm making a request on port 80. So this is by default. Whenever I'm taking the HTTP protocol, this is assumed that you are making the call to port 80. You can make the call to port 90 as well. Okay, like this. Okay, and now it is sending the request to port 90, right? But as we have not opened the port here itself, the request is being blocked here only before AWS, right? So if I would have opened the port here and here as well, port 90 here and port 90 here, then the request would have been gone to our instance itself. But because there is no one who is listening to that particular request, you will not get any response, right? So for now, let's focus on our port 80. That is the default port for HTTP. Now, see, so in order to make sure that we are getting response, there should be someone on this VM that is basically listening to those connections. So for that, we need to create a local server here. Okay, how we are going to create it? So whenever you'll be creating this instance and you'll be accessing it like this, you will see that a lot of security is there. Okay, you cannot use the Internet Explorer right away. It's highly secured. You cannot just download anything. Even if you'll just search something, lot of dialog box, lot of things will pop up and they will come on your screen. Again and again, you have to click. Again and again, you have to see what is going on. See, there is security alert. Then there will be something like add the website to secure and all. Lot of things. You cannot just open anything. Okay, if you'll open, again the security will come. So it's like to avoid this, you just directly install the Chrome. But to install the Chrome, you again need to download the Chrome from Internet Explorer, right? So I think you can download it. It's not a big task. I mean, you can just say okay, add some URLs, add verify, but it will be taking a lot of time. So what I have, you can directly use your PowerShell, okay? That is your terminal, and you can directly download the Chrome, okay? To download the Chrome, you just need to use the so I think that you don't know, but you can download anything from the terminal as well, okay? So I'm just trying to, I'll also download the things from the terminal. For now, I'm downloading the Chrome itself, okay? So wget is the command that is used. So if you are attaching wget and then you are putting the address of any file that can be downloaded, it will just download it, okay? So I'm just going to download this one, the Chrome, okay? Don't worry, I'll provide these commands as well on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so it's kind of slow a bit, okay, because a lot of things are happening and I feel my connection is not also very good. So it's a little bit slow. Okay, let me open it again. I'll just open PowerShell. Okay, I need to paste it here. So I guess I haven't copied it. Let me copy it again. Maybe something happened. So copy, I copied it. Yeah. So if I'll press enter, it will just start downloading and I guess it's downloaded. Okay. So I can go to, because it's downloaded on the administrator itself, users and administrator, I'll just go my file directory. I'll open the C drive. I'll see users, I'll see the administrators, and you can see the Chrome is there. Okay. I can take it on the desktop and then I can install it, right? So yeah, it will take some time. It's installing. Okay. So what we are going to do, the next step that we are basically doing, the next step will be to set up a local server. Okay. So we are setting up a local server. For that, we just downloaded the Chrome just to facilitate the downloading of other things that we'll be using to set up the local server. For local server, we are going to use WAMP. Okay. You can follow any server if you prefer some other server, maybe like if you want to customize the server as well, then you can go with your choice. But for now, for simplicity, I'm using WAMP. Okay. And to use WAMP, basically you need to have some dependencies that should be installed on your system before you install the WAMP. Okay. And this WAMP will be basically the server or application that will be listening to your port 80. Okay. As I told you, right now there is no WAMP, no application that is listening to port 80, right? So I'm going to install that. Okay. So now you see the Chrome is installed. Okay. So I'll just quickly say get started. I'll just say next. I'll take this one and I'll just say yes, set as default. Okay. So I'll just keep it default. Continue. Okay. Now the next thing that I will be wanting will be the WAMP itself. Okay. So I would like to download WAMP. So the download link will be provided to you again. Okay. So this this would be the link, but what I'll do, yeah, let's download this one. Okay. So copy. Let's paste and go. And there you'll be having the WAMP 2.5 that will be downloaded. Okay. And here you have this WAMP that is being downloaded. Okay. And to install this, the prerequisite, the dependencies that are required. So before installing this, you need to first install some things. Okay. And what are those things? I'll just quickly tell you. These are the files that are required during the installation of this WAMP. Okay. And these files are present in these particular packages. Okay. Or you can just copy one link that is the link that is given, I guess. Where's that link? Okay, the link. Yeah, I can just get this link over there. All these links will be available. Okay. So I can just copy this. I can go to my VM. I can paste it and go. Okay. And these are the things that you need to install. Okay. These are the things that you need to install. So you will not be able to get these packages directly because they are expired now. Microsoft is not providing these packages now. Okay, so these two 2010 you need not to install now, right now. Just install this one. Okay, so it's something. I'll just install 64 one. Okay, I downloaded it. I'll install it. Okay, it's installed. It's installing. Then I'll go back. I'll download this one. Okay, English language we need. So I'll install this one also. I guess this one is installed. So right now WAMP is downloading. Okay, and we are installing the prerequisite dependencies. Install this one. Okay, I will go back. Okay, so this is also installed. This one was installed. This one is also installed. I need to install this one now. Okay, I'll just download it. Let's download it. It's installed. Now this is installed. I need to install this one. Again, it's installed. Yeah, it's installed. Okay, and because I haven't installed these two packages, I need to find these two packages. So you can basically download those packages from there itself. Okay, so if you'll scroll down, you'll find that there are packages. So you can see here, there is 2010 SP2 packages, SP1 packages. You need to install them as well. Right, it's installed. Then you need to install this one. Run and installed. This is also installing. Nice. Okay, it's done. Okay, so we are ready to install our WAMP basically. Okay, and because see, you will not be having a lot of space in your VM. Okay, so every time you download something, it's better to just delete. Okay, so this is actually the WAMP that is being downloaded. We'll not delete it, but rest of the things we can delete. Okay, so that we can clear up the space at the same time. Okay, now you are only having 6.53 gigabytes of memory, and that is even when you are using the lighter version of WAMP. Okay, so there are a lot of different versions of WAMP. Okay, so let me just take it to this side. Okay, now WAMP is basically being downloaded. I don't think that the connection is good on the WAMP server itself. That is why they are not able to provide the data fast. See how slowly it is getting downloaded. It happens sometimes. It's not the usual thing basically. So let's wait till it get downloaded. Okay, so it is taking some time now. Let me see how long it will take. 20 more seconds. So if you have any doubt, right? If you are having any doubt on the next class, we'll provide 30 additional minutes to you. Over there, you can discuss any kind of doubt. Okay, so go through the videos again and again, play around with your uh, instance and just ask anything. Okay, ask anything. If we are not we are not able to recall whatever you are asking, we'll be providing you answer. Okay, after getting through the Content will definitely provide you the answer. This is our responsibility. Okay, so ask questions. Now it's downloaded. I want to install it, so I'll just click it. I'll just say run, and I'll be installing it. You just need to accept the agreement. Click this, create the quick launch and desktop icon, and just click install. Okay, so it will be installing. Now you can see it's installed, and it's asking about the default browser that you want to choose for the preview. Okay, and for the preview, I'll come back to it what I mean when I say for the preview. Okay, so for now I'll just choose Google Chrome, because you know why, because a lot of pop-ups will be coming, right? So that is why I installed the Google Chrome. I select the Chrome and I'll select the application, Chrome application here. I'll say open. Okay, now see, it is saying that some file is missing basically. So I think that we forgot to install something. Okay, that was required. So I'll first close this program. We need to install it again, right? And that is why I told you that it's very important to take care of the prerequisite dependencies. Okay, so and whenever the installation is not proper, you will be able to see this icon. Okay, it will go from red to orange, but it will not be able to go green. If everything is good, then it will go green also. Okay, so if you have missed something on the dependencies, then you need to uninstall the WAMP and install it again. So what I'll do, I'll just uninstall the WAMP. So to uninstall any application, you know what you need to do. You need to go to the control panel, and you need to select here program and features, and here you will be looking at whatever the things that are installed. You need to just uninstall it. So right click it and uninstall it. Okay, and it will be uninstalling. Okay, click OK, click cross, and it will start uninstalling the WAMP itself. Okay, and I have the idea what are the things that I missed initially. So remember that over there when I was clicking here, it was giving me the option of downloading for different bits. So 64-bit version was there, and 34-bit version was there. So I just downloaded the 64 one, right? The next one I didn't download it. So I'll just click all. I'm just going to download all. I'll say next. Okay. So it is saying that I should be allowing allow download. Okay. So I'll just install this one also. The rest of the things are already installed, right? So I need not to care. I'll just install this one also. Okay, so this is not required, I think. Okay, because it is not installing, obviously. Now what I'll do, I'll install the WAMP again. Okay, so it's in my downloads. Okay, I'll just install it again. Accept the agreement. Yes, install, create quick launch icons and all. Select install. See, this instance is not having anything. So text editors are also not good. So one of the best text for me, Sublime text editor is very good. I just follow it all the time. So I'll just quickly download that also. Okay, so I'll just download Sublime text. Okay, it's very light and it's very good actually. You should also try it. Now it is kind of installed. It's again asking about the browser, default browser. So I'll just provide Chrome here, Google Chrome application, and then Chrome. Okay, and then I'll say this will be the override. Yes, it should be. Okay, so now you can see no error came. Okay, you need not to change anything here, and you can launch it. No error came this time because we installed, and you can see here the icon is already green, right? So it's running now. Okay, it's running now. Because now it's running, right? So let's check what are the what is the effect that we are getting here. Okay, so if I'll just do refresh, what do you expect? What will be happening? What will let me see if I'm using HTTP or not. I'll do HTTP this. So it is still, it is not showing anything. Okay, and what does it mean? It means that, let me just show that our request is going from there to there, right? And in the instance, whatever the server we have installed, the local server, that is WAMP, it is not listening to it. Okay, it is not listening to it. So let me first check whether the server is running on the local or was on the machine itself or not locally. So to check that, what I'll do, I'll just see local host. Okay, or I can just use my this icon here. I'll click here. I'll just click at Apache. I'll just click on the phpMyAdmin. Okay, and it will be opening this particular page. So when I clicked on phpMyAdmin, it opened on the Chrome. That is why it asked initially that what is the browser I want. If I would have provided Explorer, then it would have opened on the Explorer itself, right? So this is the default browser for now. And if I want to, so this will be your basically phpMyAdmin will be your kind of control panel for our database and everything. You can play around these things as well. So the local host is running. Okay, local host is running. Exactly, it's running. Okay, now let me see the IP again. I need to verify whether we are putting a correct IP or not. Okay, so I'll just check here. I'll just see. Okay, so I think the IP was not correct, right? Here you can see the IP was not correct. And here itself, it is not opening because it is accessing the HTTPS for now by default. Look, an HTTPS port is not open, right? So if I'll access HTTP, it will just quickly start. You see, now it is saying that forbidden. I don't have any permission on that server. So it is the reply that is given by the WAMP itself. So WAMP is not configured in such a way that it should be allowing you any resources, right? It's hearing that it's listening to that particular port 80, but it is saying that you are not allowed to go in. You cannot access it, right? If you want to see, I told you that HTTP is very specific to port 80, and we opened the port 80 here and here, right? And if you want that your HTTPS request, that is the request that we made initially in the beginning, right? Like if I want to just copy it, copy and just, let's say, paste it here. This is HTTP, right? If I'll put HTTPS, nothing will happen. It will just wait. Nothing will happen, right? It will just wait, right? Because the ports are not open, right? This will be your homework when you'll be doing everything. You just open port number 443 and try to connect it with the local server that has been there. Okay, that is there. Okay, now see, you have got inside the virtual machine, and now we have verified that we are getting certain kind of response by our WAMP, but the response is not good. It is saying that you are not authorized, right? And to change this, to basically make sure that WAMP is allowing you the access to certain directory, to certain file, you need to change some things on the configuration of WAMP. Okay, so to do that, what you need to do, you'll just come here, you'll click here on the WAMP icon, and you'll go to Apache. You'll click on this httpd config. Okay, and you can say it's a lot more messy actually if you'll see it like this. Okay, so I'll not open it on this. I'll just download the Sublime. Okay, and on Sublime I'll be opening it so that I can have like better better visualize, better preview of that particular file. Okay, so it's downloading, it's downloaded, I'm installing it, and it's installed. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll just go see my WAMP is installed on C drive on this particular folder, and here on the bin folder, and then again on Apache folder, Apache version, then on the config folder, you see there you can find httpd.config, and open it, open it, open it with Sublime. Okay, and here you need to search for something. Okay, you need to search for a specific keyword. So this is the configuration file basically. Okay, this is the configuration file, and if you see this file is so big. Okay, so it's very difficult to search for something here. Okay, so you can just press Control and F, you will be able to find, and you just need to find online, and I guess a lot of onlines are there, so find next. Here you can see. Okay, online offline tag. Okay, and instead of this local, you just write all granted. Okay, that's it, and save it. Save it, close this file, close this file, and restart your WAMP server. Okay, you'll restart all the services, and you can see it will go red, then from again red to orange, and then back to green. Okay, now if you'll just open, let me go to my PC now, and if you'll see, if you'll refresh it, you'll be able to get it. Now you can access your WAMP server from anywhere by using this IP and hitting it on the HTTP port 80. Okay, because that is the only port that is open. Okay, now you can see that a lot of things are there, but these things are not basically they should not be visible to everyone. Okay, so instead of these things, because they are giving the control to my PHP, my admin, SQL buddy, and all these are things that are supposed to make to be kept private. Okay, we'll talk about these things again. Okay, now here, if you'll see on this directory here, let me just open it here on WAMP directory. This directory will by default host the pages. So if you'll see this file, this is the actual file that you can see here itself. Okay, so whatever things that you will keep here on this file, those files will be visible to anyone who will access this particular address. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just quickly take one project. Okay, some website that I created when I was in college. Okay, so let me just go to my drive. Okay, and let me just quickly go to my drive, and I can just get some file. Okay, okay, let me click on recent. Okay, I need to search for it. Where is that file? Okay, let me just see on the public folder. I think it is placed on the public folder. Yeah, there. Should be there. Should be there. Where is that? Like, yeah, this one. Okay. So I'll just create a public link here. Okay. Get the public link, and I'll just open it on the so that I can download it, basically the whole concept of copying and making it public is to just download this file. Okay, so I'll be able to download this. I'll just download it. Okay, so I just downloaded it, but I cannot open it because it's a rare file, right? So I cannot open it. So what I need to do, I need to download WinRAR. So these are the things, right? Remember when we were talking about infrastructure as a service, we said that we need to manage a lot of things. So see how we are managing things. Just to deploy a website, we need to download so many things, right? It's very difficult actually to manage everything. Okay, so I'll just download it. I hope it's downloading. Yeah, it's downloading. It's downloaded actually. So I'll install it also. So it will help me to, you know, extract out the files that are zipped, that are compressed. Okay, you can see here I downloaded it. Now whatever the file that I've downloaded, this backwin.rar, it will be on the downloaded directory itself, right here itself. You can see. So I can open it now on WinRAR, and I can extract whatever content is there onto my www directory of WAMP, right? So on WAMP, we are going to www directory, and you already know that there were certain files. Okay, so you can see these were the files that were basically giving us the results when I access this page, right? So these are the results that were given by those particular files. So let me just go back to my VM. So I would like to just keep them separate on some folder. Okay, so I'll just create one folder. I'll say it's a default folder. Okay, I'll say it's default, and I'll paste everything on there, right? So now whatever the files that I'll be extracting, they will be there, and at the same time I'll be having default files that are saved, right? So let's just extract it. Now all the files are extracted here, right? Let me just show here. You can see, so default folder is there, and all the other files that were there on my project, they just got extracted here. That was the website. Basically that was the website that got extracted here. So I kept this website on this folder, and just by putting it, it's already deployed. So I can just now go to any PC, and I can just put this IP. I can just say go, and you can see the website is live. Okay, this is the website that I created when I was in college. It's like 6 years ago. Okay, so we basically created a startup over there, and we just okay. So this is how you basically host the website. Okay, you just need to repeat this video again and again, go back and watch it again. Okay, you'll get how the things are working. Okay, one more important thing, whenever you are not using the VM, let's say right now it is running. Okay, so your website is up now, because this is just a testing website, right? We are just testing, right? We are at test, so we are testing. Okay, what I'll do, because my test is over, it's not in the production, it's not visible to all the public, it's not my business website, so I'll just stop this VM. Okay, all the changes, whatever the changes were there on the VM, they will be there, they are saved, and your VM will shut down. Okay, so this will save you some cost, like you need to monitor everything. It's the infrastructure as a service, right? You need to monitor everything. Everything is there. Whenever you'll be starting it again, you'll get all the directories over there. Your website will again come to life, right? Now if you'll refresh it, it will not show you anything, right? It's just, you see, it's just like just rotating. It's not able to refresh it, right? Because now the server is closed. So yeah, this is for you. This is yes, this is it. Practice it with HTTPS with your own pages. Okay, and ping me about it. watch this video again and again. This was supposed to be done on your basically Sunday class, but because of power cut, I was not able to take that class. So I made this video for you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. Like, this was a big session. I know you must be sleepy. So if you're feeling sleepy, I mean, you can see this by taking certain pause. Again, make some notes if you want. Okay. If you have any query, you can just post it on the group. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a nice day.